Hello and welcome to the update from the Tau team. We're here to answer your Q&A questions for August. So without further ado, let's get into them. And the first question is from Kenny, and they ask, would Agoras still be able to reach top 100 market cap this year, or should we wait for many more long years till Tau mainnet is launched? Its rank now is still very low, under the bottom 900 coins. Why does no one want to touch it if it's not a scam? Why until now is there still no VC adoption? And what happened to our Nvidia sponsor? Well, to talk about Agoras in terms of market cap and top 100 market cap is a bit of a challenging thing to do because we can't talk about the price. But to say that Agoras would change from a 900 rank token towards top 100 within 4 months is also a very challenging thing to say as well. But we can say that we're still working in very, very intently on the project. This is a project that we haven't actually done much marketing on, and that's something that we're focused on next year, primarily with our website launch as well. As it comes to Tau being a scam, as you can see that we've been here since 2015, with our focus, we have not scammed anyone, and we're working on the project very hard. Until now, there has not been a VC adoption just yet. We have paused our fundraising efforts, as we mentioned before, and we're working on adjusting our framing of Tau to be able to speak about what it is in a much more clear and direct sense, alongside the demo that we want to be able to show VCs as well. As it relates to Nvidia, we haven't gotten so far with our partnership there with Nvidia just yet. Cheers. And the next question is from Jake Paul. And they ask, hi Tau team. There's actually quite a lot of questions from Jake Paul. They ask, what is the status of Tau Live? First question. Andre.
So what's the state of Tau Live? As I mentioned in my previous monthly update, I put a pause on Tau Live to focus on Tau demo release and possible interaction with ChatGPT. And then I will get back to Tau Live as it's not the primary focus.
All right, and they ask about ChatGPT. So they ask, what is the status of the ChatGPT Tau tool plugin that Andre discussed last month?
Yeah, I will mention it in this month's update. We're heavily working on this, but it's a very complex task, and we, together with David, are working really hard on this topic.
All right, and they ask, are you planning to hire more developers to increase speed? Absolutely. Post-fundraising, we're going to be adding new team members across all the different departments in the company. That's going to be in the marketing side and content creation, and also helping with the UI and usability of Tau. Is TML finished? They ask.
TML is finished, although we still don't call it a release because we want to finish documentation and so on. That said, we give much more weight to the Tau language because with the design of the Tau language, that elements of it that were designed already 2 years ago subsume a lot of what was expected from TML. The Tau language is the real focus, is the real thing.
All right, fantastic. Thanks, Ahad. And the next question is, how long until we get our patents in place?
So as I said several times already, we are not waiting for the patent to be granted, only to submit provisional patent, which is a very simple process. We are just waiting for the patent lawyer. The ball is in his hands. I'm waiting for this to finish every day.
Amazing. All right, thanks, Ahad. And the next question is from Marco, and they ask, have you made attempts at software synthesis yet with Tau, even primitive attempts?
And no, not yet, because the Tau engine is still not ready. David is still working on it. Once he finishes some version of the Tau language, then of course.
All right, fantastic. The next question is from Sir Andrew, and they ask, how do you see aesthetics in the creation and function of Tau?
Well, that's a hard one to answer. I can think of where I see a lot of aesthetics, but that's about very deep mathematical details that I don't know how to explain it here.
All right, fantastic. Thanks, Ahad. Andrew has another question. They ask, Will there be a sort of plugin to speed up the population knowledge over Tau? And if I'm not mistaken, at the start, my Tau client is empty of knowledge. I will meticulously need to define all the words in my Tau client, like what is an elephant? It has 4 legs, it is grey, it's a mammal. All single definitions of a word will need to be entered. Could I just download all the words in the dictionary and fax over the internet and upload it to my Tau client by using a plugin?
Yes, to some extent, there are a lot of ready ontologies and formalized, at least partial dictionaries like WordNet. And this has to do with the current ongoing work on the two-variable fragment of first-order logic that is expected to support almost all of those readily available ontologies.
And the next question is from Crystal Park, and they ask, will Tau UI look similar to ChatGPT? Or Twitter, or Facebook, or Reddit, where instead of just asking the computer, we chat with other people and discover new connections? Do you plan to create a demo version to be released, and when? So it's very challenging to explain the UI in words, but you can imagine some elements being taken from some more popular social platforms like Reddit, for example, Slack, and some elements even more from popular tools such as Microsoft Word, for example. You will be very familiar with what Tau will be like to use as a tool. And the next question is from Tim, and they ask, when can we start feeding Tau control natural language-based ontologies to grow its knowledge base?
So we give first priority to having a blockchain that is controlled by its users, and this does not require strong knowledge representation capabilities and does not require at all controlled natural language capabilities. After that milestone, which is apparently several months from now, we will put effort in the knowledge representation and CNL aspects. I already prepared the team, Tomasz and David, to implementing the two-variable fragment in order to support knowledge representation. So yes, that's the next major thing after we have self-amending blockchain.
Amazing. And the next question is from Doko, and they ask, why did you stop using Twitter, X for posting updates, etc.? It seems like your profile there is abandoned. We actually just uploaded our last community update videos to Twitter, X, and we're going to be posting content that we create through these videos and updates onto Twitter and X, as much as possible. We were deciding how to use each platform, and we've decided that Twitter, now you can have much longer form content on there. We're going to be uploading there as well, a lot of our videos. Cheers. The next question from Doko is there any real chance to see mainnet release this year, 2023? Recently, we heard you mention 2024. In the past, 2023 was mentioned as a possible release time. As soon as you've already said 2024, it's unlikely that it will be 2023. So we've stuck to what we said before in the past as Q1 of 2024. Cheers. And the next question from Doko is, can you please make or publish decisions regarding the release of the locked tokens? It was mentioned in the past that a gradual release would be considered. That seems like a smart path to avoid price collapse or cash out of central entities. We've already put out a Medium post in terms of how the release will be, and also when it will be as well. This is a popular question, so thank you so much for asking it. But yeah, we've already put out a Medium article on the release of the locked tokens. Cheers. And the next question is from Ro, and they ask, hello, I've noticed that the new wave of blockchain protocols setting themselves up are abiding by having their tokens fully in circulation with deflationary mechanisms and a sharing of revenue in place. Now, for us, what are the plans with the remaining 18 million tokens that are currently not circulating? How quickly after Tau chain is live could we reach consensus on it potentially becoming deflationary? And most importantly, will Tau chain in the future also share its revenue with Agoras token holders? Thank you in advance. So with regards to the plans on releasing the tokens, we plan to have a gradual release, of course, as a very specific plan because it's far out, as you know, that we'll be releasing the tokens or that will begin after Tau is ready. We haven't got anything concrete just yet. So you mentioned how soon we would be able to reach consensus on changing Agoras to become deflationary. So that will be available from the first release of Tau. With regards to having a revenue share and being able to change those aspects of how revenue is shared between Agoras token holders, that would be entirely in the user's hands. The next question is from Taoist, and they ask, I've been keeping an eye on Tau for the last few years, and there's truly something groundbreaking being set up here. Thank you very much. However, it's sad to see that the marketing and outreach hasn't really worked so far. No new members, no momentum for years now. Are there any plans to get someone in who knows how to tackle the specific market we're operating? Cheers. First of all, thank you so much for your question. And absolutely, we agree with you. And we have made a number of tests to be able to understand who understands Tau. Up until now, it's been challenging for us to be able to explain the story of what Tau even is. So now we've come to the point where we finally are able to explain Tau in a sentence or two. Now we're able to then go out with that and use that for our marketing purposes. So right now we are changing our website to make sure that when we do that marketing, it gets its most potential essentially. So we've had to make sure that our website reflects this new messaging and framing of Tau. So that's what we're working on at the moment. And as soon as that website update is in place, we are absolutely rolling. Thanks so much. The next question is from, again, Sir Andrew. Thank you so much. The question is, what is a good motivation for learning Tau parser?
And this is only for developers who intend to develop using C++ or similar languages, applications that have to parse and process text. And it is also used, of course, extensively in the implementation of the Tau language. But other than that, for the end user, I don't see any reason.
All right, fantastic. Thanks so much, Ahad. And the next question is from Carl, and they ask, does Tau use zero knowledge proof in its security?
No, in the current plan, there is no such component.
Fantastic. And the next question is from Elevator Boy. If you are given a 2 to 3 minutes window chance to talk to a board of billionaires like Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, and others alike, how would you pitch Tau like an elevator pitch? Well, I personally would describe Tau in our new paradigm of software as sentences. So what we mean by that is that you're able to describe what you want Tau to be like, and that description itself is executable as software. The next question is from Peter N. Paul, and they ask, hopefully bad things won't happen, dangerous AI, World War III. The vision of Tau is great, and it's a pity if it will go to the drain because of these events. It looks though that there is not enough work happening. What can the community do to help? If not now, because there is no product to participate yet, then how can the community prepare for the coming of Tau? Well, we're going to be updating our website with our new description of Tau being revolving around the software sentences paradigm. So it'd be great if you could all arm yourself with this knowledge and be able to explain Tau to others in the same way. The next question is from Sir Andrew, and he asks, hi, Tomash. Greetings. Will there be a TML benchmark update in 2023? The last one is years ago, and I expect better and faster than the previous ones due to many improvements. Will you add more metrics, or is it the same as before, like left and right shift? And will it still be compared with Souffle? And another one for Tomash. How is the parser tutorial update? By learning this library, what value can one contribute to Tau?
Hi, Sir Andrew. We haven't discussed details of another benchmark yet. For sure, there will be a benchmark update before the release of TML. Regarding the tutorial, it is going to be committed into the GitHub in following days. And learning this library can have value for you if you want to create a parser in C++ or if you want to work on TML or on Tau.
All right, fantastic. Thanks so much, Tomash. And the next question is from Zor, and they ask, why have you abandoned the Twitter X platform as one of the means reach out to your community and people? Last post is from May. We've already answered that question. We are fully igniting the Twitter. We are going to be posting video content and uploading all of our video content shorts as well as just long form content up onto Twitter and YouTube and other channels. Cheers. The next question is, can you publish an updated realistic roadmap you can commit to for the meaningful releases and steps ahead? On that note, do you have any substantial important releases to happen before 2023 ends?
Yeah, in terms of roadmap, it's true that we have published in the past a tentative roadmap for the Tau product, but our priority has always been to be able to deliver on the vision for Tau and not necessarily deliver on a certain release date. That's why that release date has slipped in the past, mainly because we need to deliver on a product that we've promised and not necessarily on a specific date. In terms of releases for this year, I mean, we've completed the TML product, as Tomasz mentioned, and we've also close to completing the Tau parser product as well. But that really remains to be an executive decision whether we want to release it in 2023 or not. It just depends on our priorities and how we want to focus our marketing efforts.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Karim. And the next question is from Boron, and they've got two questions. They ask, which important capabilities will the Tau system gain by utilizing the ChatGPT interface?
As I told you on my, I'm sure I mentioned that on last update, that ChatGPT is not only great in developing a large language model that will help us to translate from natural language to controlled natural language. Also, it's a great interface to 1 million users, and I think that's a good thing also.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, Andre. And the next question from Boron is, will Tau provide some sort of incentive to developers and projects who want to build new apps and features on top of your system once it's running and mainnet is out? Absolutely. We want to attract developers and people to the project as much as possible. So that's something that is also in the pipes closer to Tau release. The next question is from Sir Andrew, and they ask, in the Tau network, will there be private groups? For example, a private company wants to use the power of scaling discussions of Tau over their business, but doesn't want to show their trade secrets. Can people create subgroups of their own set of rules? And how will the Tau network get value out of this private groups if they don't want to share their information to the Tau public network? Guide us all through this in layman's terms. Help us visualize the scenario. Thank you. Absolutely, you can have private groups on Tau. That can be just you, that can be a number of people collectively sharing their own resources, creating smart contracts to work together on your own, almost basically a private DAO on Tau. Now, in terms of how the rest of Tau or TauNet would get value from this, your private group, your private, I guess, DAO on Tau would be sharing and providing resources in exchange for assets with the rest of TauNet, unless it's just between member to member on Tau. If you are, even if you're private, going to be exchanging on Tau, the rest of TauNet can benefit from it. The next question is from Ice Drop. What kind of controlled natural language should the Tau early users need to learn in order to participate in the discussion? Will you develop tools that convert natural language to formal or controlled natural languages? Kindly guide us through this thought. Thank you.
So as I said many times, we work on the what is called the two-variable fragment of first-order logic with counting to support knowledge representation. A good thing about it is that someone already designed a controlled natural language for it. Well, at least to the part without counting and the part without the Tau extensions. Now, to the best of my knowledge, it's only a paper. It's nothing concrete, but at least not concrete in practice, but quite concrete in theory. The plan is to adapt this framework and enhance it with other enhancements and create our own controlled natural language. Fortunately, our friend Professor Fanconi is an expert in control natural language, and I count on him to take control over this project. At the beginning, because we want to release a self-amending blockchain fast, it will be without the two-variable fragment and without control natural language, which we will add later on. And yes, of course, control natural language will be translated automatically to formal logic. That's the whole point.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Ahad. And the next question is from Tiger. Tiger asks, make the website sleek and add more graphics. There are too many words, simplify it. The website is a great way to make it market Tau. Pitch up paints 1,000 words. Absolutely. Absolutely agree with you. And that is one of the big movements that we're making. And when we were reframing Tau, we are simplifying, we are getting our point across quicker, and we're adding a lot more graphics to the website. So that will be coming very soon. And the next question is from David Crane. They say, let's say Tau mainnet is launched. People still have to build on the knowledge base, right? How long does it take to make Tau usable by normal, non-tech enthusiastic people in a way that Agoras does have an actual value? I understand the price right now is very low because it doesn't give any value. For it to have value, will it be a long wait, like another 20 years to train Tau?
There will be some value already from day one. The value is that this is a blockchain network, blockchain economy that is not controlled by the development team, but controlled fully by its users. So for how long it will take for normal non-tech enthusiastic people to add value to the network, well, I don't know, but generally, any piece of information counts. Maybe it counts a little bit, but it still counts. So even if you express very simple statements about what is good and bad, what is desired or not, what do you like and what you don't like, this accumulates to a set of preferences of what the system should do.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ahad. And the next question is from Chains, and they ask, in TML, what does mul1.tml and mul_ext.tml do? Why are there extra outputs? And when can we see the final version of TML?
mul1.tml is a program which is finding a multiplicator. In the online TML IDE, there is a version of TML which has a bug. So the result of the program contains not only correct results, but also several additional results which are wrong. We have fixed this in TML already, but the WebAssembly build, which is used in the online IDE, is not updated yet. TML is in a process of replacement of the parser, so when this is finished, I'll update the online IDE with the new version. mul_ext.tml is also a program, and this is doing multiplication with extended precision. This is useful for getting results which are too high for TML to encode into a single number, since it decided how many bits will numbers use. Results are expanded into two numbers, an overflow multiplier and the rest. So in this program, TML finds 15 as the highest number used. TML decides the bit size for numbers to be 4, because in 4 bits you can have 16 different values, and so it can encode all numbers from 0 to 15. It means that this TML program cannot go beyond number 15. If you use multiplication with extended precision, you use 2 output variables instead of a 1. TML will give you result expanded into multiplier of number of overflows and the rest. For example, when you multiply 6 times 4, the result is 24, which is over the highest number 15. In this case, the first result would be 1 for one overflow of 16, and the second result would be 8. So 1 times 16 plus 8 is 24. And regarding the final version of TML, I'm working on extracting the parser into its own library, since we need parsing capabilities also for Tau language. And this is almost done, and soon I'll finish also the parser replacement in TML. After that, the TML will be ready to release.
And the next question is from Clark Brown. Hi, Ahad. Can you share instances where you have actively sought out information that contradicted your existing beliefs about Tau? How did that influence your decisions?
Yes, well, of course, there was a major revision of the whole Tau design about 2 years after the first white paper was published. I discovered that I was wrong, and the language that was supposed to be decidable was not really decidable. That design completely neglects the human aspect, and Tau controlled by its users in theory, but not in practice. So then many additional layers of taking it to the practical level were added, like discussions, consensus, no need to vote. All that was not in the initial design of Tau. And even the new white paper that was published, I don't remember, maybe 2019, there is a whole chapter there about logics for law, and this was before we discovered what we call now the Tau language, so that was also heavily revised.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Ahad. The next question is from Craig Stone, and they ask, we investors who have been supporting you would like to see you pop into Telegram once in a while. This is directed directly to Ahad. I would like to make sure you have a marketing plan, because as great as the project may be, the word must get out. Absolutely. So what is the plan? And also, will testnet be on time? So I've actually answered this question on Telegram. I do believe that right now, though Ahad is also the founder of the project, he's also the head of research, CTO, and doing a lot of things that require a lot of intense focus. So where the questions on Telegram come in, the rest of the team can always get involved and can if there are questions directly for Ahad, we try to use this information within the Q&A, because it's actually something that we can reuse as content. So because of that, Ahad is less active on Telegram, but he is there, he's aware, and we are very much involved and in touch with what's happening on the community channels. Now, where it comes to the marketing plan, absolutely, the website update is a big part of that. As soon as that's up, we'll be guns blazing on more traditional publications, not just blockchain publications, but many more traditional publications to spread the word about Tau. And the testnet, as we said, Q1 2024. Thank you. The next question is from Jane, and she asks, is Lucca and Juan still working with the Tau team? We have not seen them on the last dev update, and should they be helping with Tau testnet to make the development and launch of mainnet faster?
So yeah, so Lucca did some great work for us as an intern, and he's back to working full-time on his master's thesis. Hopefully he'll be able to come back once he's done with that. And Juan is working for us on a contract basis. Basically, whenever we need him on a specific task, we pull him in.
All right, fantastic. Thanks so much, Karim. And the next questions are from Dana. Great to see you again. What are some ways we could use ChatGPT with Tau to help us design and create Agoras?
Well, the basic use case, using ChatGPT to convert natural language to controlled natural language.
Fantastic, thanks, Ahad. In theory, will it be possible to use Tau and Agoras to create smart contracts which can communicate multi-chain so as to be blockchain agnostic in approach? What features will we have access to in version 1 of mainnet, and what can we expect to see in testnet?
In theory, that's indeed not a problem. So you just have either to program in the Tau language or to develop plugins to the Tau language that will support calls to external applications, let it be other blockchains or not. In principle, it's very easy, but Of course, there are a lot of practical questions. Are you going to download all those blockchains locally and so on? But the Tau design that doesn't have limitations for that.
All right, fantastic. And he asks, now that we're getting closer to something tangible, do we have a guarantee that the Agoras on Ethereum and Agoras from Omni will be redeemable? What would the claims process look like when the time comes? So it would just look very much like a token swap. Right now, we have in mind to just do a one-to-one token swap with the Agoras tokens that are already issued, be it on Omni, be it on Ethereum, and you would receive your Tau mainnet tokens in response. Last question is to Andre, and they ask, regarding your TauGPT project, will it be feasible to give it agents similar to what we see with AgentGPT? This way, a user can dictate a primary mission for their Tau agents to work on.
Currently, we're exploring the ways we can use large language models to communicate with Tau, and based on our primary focus, we can then deploy it as AI agents, as some standalone applications, or within ChatGPT interface. It will be in the future. We will see it when we get there.
Yeah, I would like to add to that an agent that you can speak with and give knowledge to it, and also ask questions, and also give tasks to it, all in the Tau fashion, such that everything is guaranteed to be correct. So 2 points to say here. For one thing, you need a specific Tau theoretical inventions in order to do such a thing. If you think about it, it is very similar to the law of changing the law, and very similar to what we spoke about in the laws of robotics and the ability to ask whether a sentence in the same language follows from or contradicts another sentence. So that's one point. Second point, Professor Fanconi is actively working on it together with me on designing such an agent powered by the Tau language. And we intended to a major demo for the Tau language capabilities once it is ready, which is quite soon.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Ahad. Thank you so much for the rest of the team. And thank you to you guys for your questions. As always, please continue to keep them up. We'll always be in Telegram to answer your questions. And if you want to see them answered and help everyone else out, please put them as Q&A questions as well, because that does help everyone. And yeah, we'll see you in Telegram. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do want to get this over 1,000 subscribers. We should hit that ASAP, really. Let's make that happen. So yeah, we'll see you in Telegram. Cheers. Bye.